As Elon Musk's ambitious venture aims to merge the human brain with artificial intelligence, questions abound regarding the potential consequences of such an invention. But what exactly is Neuralink for? At its core, Neuralink aims to revolutionize the way we interact with technology by bridging the gap between the human brain and computers. In the short term, its focus lies on aiding individuals with paralysis, like 29-year-old Nolan Arbaugh, who recently showcased the remarkable ability to control a computer cursor using only his thoughts thanks to a Neuralink implant. Yet, this is just the tip of the iceberg. In this video, we'll delve into the intricacies of Neuralink's approach, examining the benefits it promises alongside the risk it poses to individuals, society, and the future of humanity. Let's kick off with a little context. Launched in 2016, Neuralink made waves in 2019 when it unveiled flexible threads designed to be implanted into the brain, aided by a robotic implanting system. These threads, the company believes, can interpret signals from a paralyzed person's brain and transmit them to a computer or iPhone, enabling control through thoughts alone, without needing to tap or type. Now, what's Neuralink all about? Well, it's all about linking our brains with computers to help people with paralysis, at least for now. But in the bigger picture, Neuralink fits into the wider world of neurotechnology, where scientists are exploring how to connect our brains and machines. In 2023, Neuralink got the FDA's thumbs up to run its first human trial, recruiting paralyzed volunteers to see if the implant could help them control devices. And just this January, they implanted a device nicknamed Telepathy in their first human trial subject. Elon Musk, ever the showman, boasted about it on his social platform. But wait, there's a catch. Critics worry about the risks. Some former employees and experts claim that Neuralink's approach could be unnecessarily risky, potentially damaging to the brain. And then there are ethical concerns. With companies diving into brain tech, there's a fear that it could invade our privacy and lead to Big Brother-like surveillance. So, while Neuralink's tech could change lives, we need to tread carefully and think about what it means for the future. Elon Musk has a big idea. He wants to connect human brains with AI, and he's doing it through Neuralink. Why? Well, it's all about fear. Musk and others are worried that AI might become too powerful and take over the world. Imagine a world where machines are smarter than us and could trick us into doing things we don't want to do. That's the nightmare scenario. Back in March 2023, Musk and a bunch of other smart people signed a letter asking for a break in making AI systems that are too smart. They worry that these super smart AIs could be dangerous and could even replace us. Musk is particularly concerned about what he calls civilizational risk. He thinks that if we can't control these super smart AIs, they might see us as useless. So, what's his solution? Well, it's a bit like, if you can't beat them, join them. Musk thinks that if we merge our brains with AI, we might be able to keep up with these super smart machines. He wants humans to be able to think and communicate as fast as AI does, and that's where Neuralink comes in. Neuralink is making a brain implant with 1,024 electrodes. These electrodes can listen in on a lot of neurons in the brain, picking up signals and sending them to a computer. The more electrodes you have, the more neurons you can listen to, and the more data you can get. But here's the catch. To put this implant in your brain, you have to drill a hole in your skull and put it right into your brain. It's a bit extreme. Now, there are other companies doing similar things, but they're taking a gentler approach. They're finding less invasive ways to connect brains to computers. So why is Musk going all out with the brain drilling? Well, he's all about speed. He wants the data to flow as fast as possible between your brain and the computer. Musk believes that if we can merge our brains with AI, it might help us solve some big problems. Like, how do we control these super smart AIs? And how do we make sure they're useful to us? He thinks that by connecting our brains directly to computers, we might be able to work together with AI rather than being left behind. But there are risks. Some people worry that drilling holes in our heads and putting implants in our brains could be dangerous. And what about privacy? If computers can read our thoughts, who's to say they won't misuse that information? It's something we need to think about carefully. So, while Musk's vision of merging brains with AI is exciting, it's also a bit scary. But who knows? Maybe one day we'll all be communicating with computers using just our thoughts. It's a wild idea, but then again, so are a lot of things Musk dreams up. Neuralink isn't the only player in the brain-computer interface game. Other companies like Synchron, BlackRock Neurotech, Paradromics, and Precision Neuroscience are all in the mix, along with the US military. They're all working on ways to help people regain physical abilities through brain implants, just like Neuralink. In the news, you might have heard about BCIs that turn thoughts into speech. Meta, led by Mark Zuckerberg, is one of the big names in this area. They're developing BCIs that can translate thoughts directly into words in real time. It's like mind-reading technology. Eventually, they hope to give everyone the power to control devices using only their thoughts. But BCIs aren't new. Back in 2006, a guy named Matthew Nagel, who was paralyzed, got a brain implant that let him move a computer cursor with his mind. He even played games using just his thoughts. This implant, made by BrainGate, had 100 electrodes, a lot fewer than Neuralink's 1024, but it still did the job. Now, the cool thing about some newer BCIs is that you can't even see them once they're implanted. They're hidden away, doing their job without anyone knowing they're there. This is what makes Neuralink stand out. Their device doesn't just move a cursor, it wirelessly sends data from the brain without being obvious. But there are gentler ways to do this. Take Synchron, for example. They're using stent technology, which has been around for a while. A stent is like a metal scaffold that's put into a blood vessel to keep it open. Synchron sends a stent up to the brain's motor cortex, unfurls it, and voila! The sensors on the stent pick up signals from the neurons, allowing paralyzed people to tweet and text using their thoughts. No surgery needed. Elon Musk himself has talked about less invasive methods for BCIs. He once mentioned going through veins and arteries instead of drilling into the skull. But Neuralink ended up going with the skull drilling approach anyway. Why? Well, it seems they're all about maximizing bandwidth, or how fast data flows between the brain and the computer. However, not everyone agrees with this approach. Some experts think you can achieve high bandwidth without being so invasive. Take Precision Neuroscience, for example. They've developed a thin film with 1024 electrodes that sits on the brain's surface, recording brain activity without penetrating it. They call it the Goldilocks solution. Not too invasive, not too risky, just right. So why did Neuralink go the invasive route? It's unclear. Maybe they're focused more on Musk's vision of merging brains with AI than on patient safety. After all, more invasive methods can cause real harm to the brain, as shown in Neuralink's animal experiments. In the end, it's a balancing act between pushing boundaries and keeping patients safe. While some companies prioritize improving lives with minimal risk, others seem to be willing to take bigger chances in pursuit of grander goals. And as we journey further into the realm of BCIs, we'll need to consider the ethical and safety implications every step of the way. Neuralink's journey has been marked not just by technological leaps, but also by ethical quandaries, particularly concerning the treatment of animals in their experiments. Former employees have voiced concerns about rushed surgeries leading to unnecessary suffering and fatalities among the animals involved. One grisly incident involved implanting devices of the wrong size into pigs, resulting in the euthanasia of affected animals. Monkeys fared no better, with reports of devices breaking during implantation, leading to infections and ultimately euthanasia. These incidents prompted investigations by regulatory bodies like the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Department of Transportation, casting a shadow over Neuralink's practices. The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine raised alarms about safety issues and urged caution regarding the company's devices. Despite these concerns, the FDA gave Neuralink the green light to proceed with human trials, emphasizing the balance between potential benefits and risks. But beyond the immediate concerns about surgical procedures lies a broader ethical debate about the implications of brain-computer interface technology for society. Musk's vision of high-bandwidth implants raises questions about privacy and autonomy. Our brains, the last bastion of privacy, could become vulnerable to surveillance and manipulation. Already, governments are exploring ways to tap into brain data for various purposes, from monitoring emotional states to enhancing military capabilities. BCIs also open the door to hacking and manipulation, posing risks to mental health and personal identity. The concept of brain jacking is no longer just a hypothetical scenario, but a real concern. Additionally, the profound symbiosis between humans and machines envisioned by Musk could fundamentally alter our sense of self. The story of an epileptic woman who felt her identity intertwined with her BCI, only to experience a loss of self when the device was removed, serves as a poignant reminder of the potential psychological impacts of BCI technology.